Welcome to the 90-Minute Marketing Playbook. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if you're listening to this right now, you're a very busy travel advisor. You've got a lot going on between your clients, their trips, your own trips, and running the rest of your business. Your plate is very full already, and that is exactly why marketing has to be simple for you, but not at the expense of quality. And that's where the playbook comes in because in just an hour and a half every single week, you're going to have all of your social media and your email marketing content done and dusted. But I want to be clear because we're not just throwing everything we can out there. Every post and every email is going to be strategic, intentional, and built to highlight your unique value as a travel advisor, showcase what you can do for your clients, and then attract those high value people who want the level of service that you can provide. So, this isn't about busy work. You already have a long to do list. This is about getting really smart and laser focused with your marketing to make sure that it's working harder for you. I'm going to take 10 minutes of your time to explain the framework, and then you're going to be ready to dive into the 90 minutes of content creation. So let's get started. My name is Nikita. I'm the founder of Social Jet AI. We're the travel industry's only all-in-one marketing software for travel advisors. We've had the pleasure of training over 20,000 advisors on social media, marketing, AI over the last 6 years. And let me tell you, I eat, sleep, and breathe content. And we're constantly keeping our eye on what's working, what's not working, testing content to see how we can get travel advisors maximum reach, maximum engagement, and get you more inquiries and more bookings in the process. And that has been a journey of learning. I'm going to give you some of those strategies today so you can apply them into the playbook. Now, here's the thing. This playbook isn't just about pumping out content for the sake of it. You could create and post any number of things. You can go to ChatGPT right now and it can create you 10 years worth of social media content. But this is about making sure that the 90 minutes that you spend are actually moving the needle for you. Because if you're just posting randomly, you'll feel busy. You're going to feel accomplished in a sense, but you won't actually see results from social media. And that's when things start to get really frustrating. So the real key is making sure your content has purpose, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm going to walk you through it right now. So, content without strategy really is just noise. It's like shouting into a very loud, very crowded room and hoping that somebody hears you. When you tie every post, though, into a specific stage of the client journey, suddenly your marketing starts to work together. You're not just filling your feed, but you're guiding people step by step from discovering you, trusting you, and then finally booking with you. And inside Social Jet, we simplify this into a super clear 3-step framework: awareness, nurture, convert. And every piece of content you create should fall into one of these three buckets. Every piece of content we put inside the collective falls into one of these three buckets, whether it's a reel or something in your calendar, a post, a caption, a template. It's all marked with the three stages of the funnel. So you know exactly what you're posting always. But this is important because it gives you clarity. You know the purpose of what you're posting and you know how it fits into the bigger picture. Because here's the thing: most people, like 99% of people, they're not just going to land on your profile and book right away. We love the 1% of people who do, who just know what they want, they're ready to go, they need help, and they inquire for your help. But most people, they need to first find you. That's the awareness. Then they get to know you and trust you. That's the nurture. And then when they're ready, they take action to reach out and to start working with you. And that's the conversion. And the goal is to post at least one piece of content in each phase every single week. If you've got the bandwidth and you can double it up and do 6 posts, 2 for each of the stages of the funnel. But the non negotiable is making sure you're touching every stage of the client journey. That's how you create marketing that is just silly, simple, strategic, and effective. And you get to keep your sanity because you're not spinning your wheels trying to figure out what to post every week. You know you need at least one post in each of the 3 phases, which just helps all of the noise to disappear and to give you clarity. Now, for those of you who are already doing okay with your marketing, you've got clients, you've got trips, things are moving along. This is where you get to really elevate and take things up a notch. The 3-step funnel makes sure you're not just posting for the sake of posting, but that every single post is working harder for you, because when you're busy, you don't have time to waste the effort on creating content. So this framework gives you speed, it gives you accuracy, it gives you precision. So every post has a role to play in growing your business and getting you more inquiries. So let's go through the three phases. The awareness phase is first. This is where most advisors either get stuck or spin their wheels. But when you've already got a business and you're already busy with clients, you can't afford to just chase trends without direction. You want elevated awareness. You want to make sure your posts count to bring in new people. So this is about precision, getting in front of the right people, not just more people, but think of reels or hooks or trending audios, but done in a way that ties back to your expertise specific to the niche and the destinations you specialize in. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be seen by the right people in the right way at the right time. So you're looking at short, punchy reels. And the reason why I put reels here is because in the awareness phase, reels are king. They reach the most amount of people than any other type of post on social media. You're calling your ideal client out, you're speaking to misconceptions or problems. This is how you're going to grab their attention. The nurture phase is where busy advisors often let things slide because you're juggling so much already. But if you want to elevate, nurture is the stage that really starts to separate the good from the great because this is where you step out as the authority. You're not just sharing what you sell, you're showing why people should work with you, the behind the scenes, the glimpses of real client stories, and your perspective on the destinations, the hotels that you sell and can book. This is the stuff that really builds trust fast. And when your marketing builds trust on autopilot, you save yourself so much time, but you're also increasing your influence. And that's so key to taking your business to the next level and starting to attract more high value people. The last stage is the convert stage. And this is where the elevated travel advisor, that's you, can really shine because conversion content is about clarity. It's not about fluff. It's not about just saying book now. It's about showing your value in the way that makes working with you the obvious next step. You're busy, so your content needs to really just cut through the noise to the point. Here's the problem. Here's how I solve it. Here's how you take action. So you want to think about posting mini case studies, client transformations, testimonials, simple walkthroughs or explanation of what it's like to work with you, speak to problems and things that you've solved for your clients. And then you want to add in clear calls to action. So suddenly you're not just chasing people anymore, they're chasing you. Now they want to work with you because they see the obvious value that you bring to the table. They see obviously like, oh, there is a problem. Here's how it can be solved. And oh, I just need to pick up the phone and call this person or send them a DM or fill out their inquiry form or book a call with them. So this is where you're really getting precise. All right, now that you know the three stages, let's get into how the playbook is going to work. This is the breakdown of what you're doing for the full 90 minutes. You're going to set a timer and then you're going to get to work. And before you create any content, though, because this is how we're speeding up this process, we're using AI as our tool to do this all quicker. Back in my day, back in my day when we didn't have AI, this was definitely not as quick. But here we are. Where it's a beautiful time to be alive where you can do this work so much quicker. And the important thing is that you're leveraging AI, but you're making sure you're not just opening up ChatGPT and using it just as is. You're giving it some context. So I've given you two prompts to do this. The first one is to know your ideal client's psychographics. So you're making sure you understand their fears, their frustrations, and their desires around the type of travel that you plan. This is really important to giving ChatGPT or any AI tool focus. Because that's the thing about AI is that if you don't give it focus, it's going to talk about whatever it wants to talk about. And that's not always going to be the most precise or eloquent thing or most strategic thing for you to be talking about in that moment. So understanding the psychographics gives it context, and then you want to give it some content instructions. So all of the things I just taught you about the awareness, the nurture, the convert phase, I've given you a prompt to feed it into ChatGPT so it knows that that is exactly what it needs to think and how it needs to structure things. It's thinking about offering insights, making sure it has a hook and a call to action on everything. So this is just an easy prompt to give it to just make sure that it knows what you're looking for. Now, in your first 10 minutes, you're going to be brainstorming. This is where you're going to go into ChatGPT or your AI tool of choice and start brainstorming content ideas for each of the three phases. It's going to give you those content ideas. So your next step is to pick the ones you like best or keep brainstorming to find what you want to talk about. You'll note that in the list of your times, the timing breakdown, In those first 10 minutes, you also want to think about, let's go back for one quick second. You also want to think about what's happening right now. What are clients considering booking? What seasonal things might I want to include? And use that to guide you in your brainstorming process as you go every single week. Things will change week to week. So the next phase is the content creation. You pick the ideas you like, and now you're going to ask ChatGPT to write the content for it, whether that's a hook for a reel or a caption or a carousel. You're going to ask it to write that content. And then the next step from there is customization. So this is where you're thinking about, well, what happened this week? What did I do for clients? What did I plan? Did clients ask me a question? Did I solve a problem? And weave that into your content, because ChatGPT, we're all using it now. And if you're not careful, you're going to start sounding like everybody else. So, this is how you differentiate, by personalizing a little bit further. So, you have client anecdotes, questions, and things that are happening. Leverage that in this step to just personalize your content. So next up is your visuals, and you need to create the reels and the carousels that will go along with the captions and the hooks that you've written. I've given you a bunch of resources to help with that. The SocialJet AI Vault has tons of content, and then I've also given you some free templates you can use, and you'll see that they are nicely broken down into the awareness, the nurture, the conversion phase, so you know exactly where to apply them. Next, you're going to repurpose one of your social posts into an email. Why work harder than you need to? Repurposing is the key here. So you're going to pick one of your social posts that you like, and you're going to have ChatGPT or your AI tool of choice rewrite it into an email for you. Last step is going to be scheduling. There's lots of places you can schedule content. Scheduling is important because you want this to be a once a week thing, and then you don't stress about it. Maybe you're then just going into social media to engage with your followers and to like and to answer comments or to answer email responses and things like that. But other than that, you want to be hands off. So scheduling allows you to do that. Meta has a scheduler. There's lots of tools. Of course, I'm going to shout out the Social Jet tool because it's not just scheduling, it's all of the pieces of content creation built into one. But that is the playbook. Now you're ready to go. You're ready to rock and roll and to go and create your own content. So good luck. Happy posting. And make sure you tag us. Let us know how it's going. We want to see the content you're creating.